So I hope you are all having a great day, as today we'll be taking a look at a fanboy that we haven't necessarily looked at in some time, but I thought I'd go check out what he was doing to see if there's anything interesting, and I found a video that may be interesting. I haven't watched all of it, but I thought we'll go look at it and see how it goes. So this is Editing Onyx here. I just wanted to let you know I'm sorry for downloading the video in a lower resolution, as the YouTube downloaders that I've been going through and checking out actually don't download in a high resolution, so I'm very sorry for that. And some of them were actually broken and didn't work, but as soon as I finished this video, they started working. So I'm just going to bring this video out. You can still read most of the stuff and the stuff that it shows on screen for the most part, so it shouldn't be that hard. Anyway, back to the video.
Customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another XVault Gaming video. XVault here, and today what we're going to do is go over that delicious salt that we so apparently continue to get. And on top of that, they continue to break ceilings. They continue to raise these delusions beyond heights unknown. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it.
Now, I have two issues with this video starting off. First of all, your audio was a little bit too loud. Turn that down slightly, we can all hear what you're saying. Second of all, that immediate shitpost to audio was a bit jarring. I would like you to change that and do a bit more lead-in with your audio. It would make it a lot more better and easier on the ears.
Today, just for your first helping of the Salty Batch files for the week, and of course we have to feature Extension, the Andrea Piccinini, Catfish, Joseph Cruz, aka all that stuff, stating, as you can see here, breaking in all caps, Sony paid timed exclusivity on Black Myth Wukong.
I'm not sure if you can see what the guy actually said, but I have to agree with XVault here. The first guy that he's actually covering is an Xbox fanboy. I don't know how you can come to this conclusion of being a timed exclusive when they're just trying to optimize the game so it can perform better. Of course, you probably won't see much of a difference between the consoles, but regardless, they're still optimizing the game, so I don't know how you can come to the conclusion that this is a timed exclusive and that Sony paid for exclusivity. It wouldn't be out of character for them, but I don't think they have, as it probably would have been spoken about a lot more. I would have heard about it. And I don't really do too much research on many games anymore, as I don't really care for many games anymore.
Parentheses, evidence suggests. No, you suggest, as well as your delusional cultist. But let's continue with your little highlights here. Xbox, Hellblade 2 is the top visual showcase of the generation. Does that make it a great game? Answer is no.
Absolute base take, keeping the forward momentum going, keep it up.
Next, Wukong, the second best looking game. Have you played the entirety of the game?
How does that work? No. Oh my god, my brain's completely lost it already, and you've only said like a couple words. And you were doing so good in this video. You were actually covering actual Xbox fanboys. I mean, it's the same guy, but by that logic, you have to play an entire game, finish it, and then you're able to criticize its graphics. You know, you can't use your little eyeballs, the thing in your skull, the two little things. I don't know, maybe I have one. Maybe three, two. And you can't come to a conclusion. Are you telling me, by that logic, you can only come to a conclusion if a game looks good, or should be personally rated, if you've completed the game? Okay then, by that logic, I want you to go complete Hellblade 2. Since you're a PlayStation fanboy, I would have assumed that you've never completed it or bothered to play it at all. So you can't criticize it until you finished it. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to.
Looks great, but again, more assumptions from a delusional cultist. PlayStation Studios have no big title this year to come even close. Okay.
The only game that Sony/PlayStation really has that is actually worth a damn is Astrobot, and that's it. I don't think anyone really cares about anything else at the state of play that they showed off. Just Astrobot, because that game genuinely does look good.
To Hellblade 2? Let's find out what happens when we have Astrobot sales versus Hellblade 2. A, quote, kiddie game by the Xbox fanatics out there that are and have been drooling over the fact that they are not getting Lego Horizon and chalking that off as a kiddie game, but
you're telling me a Lego game is a kid's game? Those games are just fun. I mean, yeah, they're kind of meant for children, but regardless, pretty much everyone of all ages usually plays those games, but calling Astrobot a kid's game is pretty dumb. Just because it has a colorful art style doesn't mean it's a kid's game.
Astrobot alone is going to sell mountain tons, as well as Lego Horizon. That is a quote, multi-platform game at this point, as you all like to claim over there.
It literally is. It's on 2 platforms. It's not a negotiation of if it is or isn't a multi-platform game. It is. Why is it so hard for people to believe that? If it's on more than 1 platform, it's a multi-platform game. And that goes for most of Sony's newer games. They're all going to other platforms. Exclusives are a thing of the past.
Which that one is. But again, all right, but let's keep going here because this is insane. Sony pays exclusivity to have some form of response against Xbox. So again, evidence suggesting, according to a delusional cultist, that Sony has therefore paid for a timed exclusivity.
It wouldn't be out of character for Sony to do such a thing. They've done it many times in the past, but have they done it with this game? Probably not.
Or Game Science said in its statement, Game Science did, and then quoted, "We are currently optimizing the Xbox Series X and S version to meet our quality standards so it won't release simultaneously with other platforms." In no way, shape, or form is Game Science going to go out there and lie to the community for no reason. If there was a timed exclusivity clause, it will just simply state that. There's not going to be huge comments, there will be minor comments, just like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, stuff like that for recent memory if you're following along. So again, they just want to make things up to save face for their dying brand. And I hate to say their dying brand. And when I say dying brand, I mean their dying brand as far as hardware is considered. And we'll get over that.
You know it's not just Xbox dying, right? Both PlayStation and Xbox are dying. Of course, PlayStation is doing well by most metrics, but it's not getting new players. These are already existing players for the most part that are already in the ecosystem. Most people are usually either getting either a Nintendo Switch or a PC, because there's no point to really own a console anymore. There's not really much of an incentive to really have these, when there are platforms that can offer you a better deal for a better price, especially when there's no price decrease on these consoles. And honestly, I do regret buying my Xbox. I kinda wish I just bought a PC instead straight away instead of putting money into that. Was it worth it? Absolutely not. Was it worth the play for Honor? Kinda. Better frame rate was pretty cool.
Or get to that here in just a moment, but absolute delusion at its finest. Saltiness at its finest, still trying to use Hellblade that came and went like a fart in the wind, by the way, but let's continue here. Good old Darius Fears, the failed actor, the gentleman that sits there and shills just as hard as anybody else on the Xbox fanatic side.
You literally shill for PlayStation. Your Twitter, you literally bragged about getting a pair of PlayStation-themed shoes. I have never cringed so hard at a "what's up, my fellow gamers" moment from a fucking, 30-something-year-old man? Ugh. I kinda cringe thinking about that. Ugh. Ew. Ew. Yuck. So just to save a little bit of time, I think we're gonna skip to certain parts of his video where he actually does some questionable things, because for the most part it's just him doing some, I would argue, bare minimum reactions to tweets while not offering much substance. So let's just skip to the good parts.
Yes, because Sony made them. They broke into their headquarters and said, "Look, we have this belt here, and we're gonna choke you out if you do not."
Now that is oddly specific. I feel like you're speaking from experience. Now, was it fun at least? Could you share that with us?
As you say, as you can see, hi Xbox P3, Phil Spencer himself. You think Marvel vs. Capcom Collection will be a reality on the Xbox? Praying emojis. Port begging, praying emojis. The top of the cream right here. And retweeting, reposting his shout out to the PlayStation bros and sisters who are helping out the X bros and sisters by signing the petition to bring the Marvel vs. Capcom Collection Xbox, yada yada. Said it was a long shot, all that stuff.
You literally make me sad. I don't know how I can put this into words, but all I want to say is that how is this a fanboy? He's just saying something that he wants on his platform. There's no fanboy salt going around here. He's not making any stupid responses like fanboys do. He's not saying that his platform is better than the other. He's just asking for a game on his platform. And somehow, you thought this was a good idea to put into a video and just say to yourself, yes, this guy must be a fanboy. Am I missing something?
Not letting it go. I mean, good on him for that. But, you know, again, you supposedly have a PlayStation. If you put your loyalties and allegiances to the side and it's all about the games, why are you not playing on a platform that has those games? And I'm not...
Hear me out. If you want to fix any issue that you have about not accessing games, just come to PC, emulate them, buy them, do whatever. PC is the master race. It's honestly just the best way to go if you want to save all your money.
Just over 2 million copies were sold over multiple months with a game like Dragon's Dogma that was on multiple platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and again PC. But 1 million copies for a PlayStation 5 ecosystem that still has half of the users that are still back on PS4, by the way, because a lot of folks, they cannot upgrade to the new, PlayStation console. May not be in the funds, may just...
So a little bit of context to this, he's talking about Stellar Blade, and apparently this guy said it only sells 1 million copies, which he did. This guy's being absolutely dumb. I swear it sold way more than that. I could be very wrong. It could have not performed that well. I don't really keep up to date on what's being sold and how much it's sold. I don't care. I want to play a good game. But the problem that I have with this little clip here is that he's talking about how people either don't have the money or don't have the need to go to the newest or current generation of console. It's because, for two reasons. Nothing is really being offered by both Microsoft and Sony for people to really bother to upgrade, and second of all, they keep increasing the prices of these consoles, mainly Sony in this example. What incentive do people have to upgrade to this current generation? Not many at all, do they? I swear I'm going to lose it. This video is genuinely being miserable to look at. Like, half the time it's not even covering actual fanboys, it's just people wanting games on their platforms, just stating things that isn't really, I would consider as a fanboy thing to do. This video genuinely just makes me suffer, so I think I'm just gonna end it here. I've given you all the brain rot that you needed for the week or the day or whatever, until we can find some new, meaningful salt. So I think I'm gonna let Holden Cross take it away from here.
We're finished here.